Hey smokers, Drago1 here. Today we're going to be building a PC case for the Windows 95 machine out of Legos. Now this is the planned orientation. Not quite sure how well it's going to work out. It's probably going to consist of this balancing there, having some sort of secure anchors at the top just to keep it in place. It will be a tower, and then I'm going to assume the power supply and CD-ROM drive are going to be up here somewhere. I don't know how the cable management is going to work. Don't know really how the airflow is going to work. But I have a buttload of Legos, so let's go ahead and get started building this thing. Okay, so that turned out to be a lot harder to film than I thought it was going to be. This is the very rudimentary frame. It just barely represents the case here. Just sort of think of this as kind of a development log for the case. Well, I really wouldn't call it block shortages. I'd more call it like I don't want to go look for them. It's secured in several different places here. So you got a notch there, and a notch there, so it doesn't. It's still going to be wobbly a little bit, but we're not nailing this thing down with any like wire ties or anything like the first UDM setup. Now this can slide this way, as if you wanted, it can slide like that. But the supports I have in place for the, well, supports are in beta right now, I need to improve them, but to hold up the PCI cards and AGP card, got some weird bending going on here. I don't know if that's going to be functional with that bending like that. It's going to have to do, at least for now. That's still, so I need to measure this out better, get some more bricks and support this better, because this whole weird clump of shit goes all the way up and supports the rest of this. And I interconnected this just for stability, because if something like that happens, I'm worried about that back wall falling. So I'm going to build this up a little bit more, and hopefully we'll have a computer that we can just use. Okay, so I left out the majority of the build. So this is what the final look is of the Lego tower. I was hoping that it could have been something a little bit more substantial than this, but this will have to do. I do have more Legos. I could have built it a little bit more sturdy, but this is pretty much as good as it's going to get. That's the backside. It's the most, probably the most stable there. Got a dude driving this whole thing, I guess. Putting the power supply on top was kind of an afterthought. Probably could have done something better. The cards in the back are not well secured. I did put some things in place that apparently broke. Interestingly, the motherboard is surprisingly held in place. Before it was rattling a lot. What did I do? I kept true to the Lego code, essentially tied it down with a Lego rope, and pulled it back so it doesn't rattle. And yeah, still using Legos. Little hidden tortoise down deer. Windows 95 SSD, very easily accessible here. As for the cooling, you know, pretty much all I got. Everything else is pretty much what you see here. So, of course, since I didn't film the whole build and this wasn't supposed to be a Lego time-lapse video, we're actually going to do some more stuff with this. Now, a couple notes before we get started. Now, as you can see, I have to do a vertical orientation optical drive here. This might backfire on me. The other thing that might backfire on me is we're using a DVD drive here. I'm hoping it can just use its CD-ROM drive portion of it, or else I'm going to be in a big trouble. The reason why I went with this is because it is shorter. Now, if I'm in a situation where that doesn't work, I can just pull this out, put in one that's longer, and I hopefully won't have a problem. Part of the structural portion of this, this is under compression right here, so that might not work out. Now I've also I went ahead and installed the TNT2, which is a more beefy card. So the other one was, the problem I was having with the other one is certain games were getting stuck at their splash screens. This one, Regular Racers and Rayman 2 were getting stuck at the splash screens for some reason. So hopefully with the better card, I might throw some more RAM in it if it's going to complain, but these games should not require that much RAM. Actually, this requires 32 megabytes of RAM, and that's the exact amount we have in there. So this might be actually too much RAM for both of these. That might just be too little RAM. So we might be able to fix that with the RAM as well. But I went ahead and put in the better card just because it's a little bit smaller, so it fit in there better. And I found this sort of ultimate Nvidia RIVA driver disk. It has all sorts of drivers for old video cards from the olden days. I found the ISO on archive.org. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in and hope that it can read the CD drive, well, it's a DVD drive, and we'll probably have to make it reboot a whole hell of a lot because of all the problems we have with Windows 95. Oh, there is one important thing that I forgot to connect, which is going to be a pain in the ass. That's the power button. I'll have to dig around in there and plug it in. Fuck. Had an issue with CMOS, so I'll have to turn off that abomination. Does detect the DVD drive. Need a new CMOS battery. So let's see if it will go here. Maybe not. Wow, I went right back to this. The fuck? Weird. Could be the new video card. I have no idea. Well, I'll leave it like that for a while. Okay, luckily it just took it a little bit longer. We had a protection error, so I'm just going to have to control-delete this thing a little bit more often. It's super fast now, like scary fast. It goes right to booting it up almost immediately. I don't even see the BIOS screen. Or Control-Delete means something different to the motherboard now that it has been disconnected from power and CMOS is... The problem is that doing the Control-Delete boot up sequence is now slowed down by this new wait that I haven't seen yet. See, I'm not quite sure what this is about. Oh, there it is. I'm going to see if I can look into what's taking it so long. Maybe it's set to not fast boot or something. I'm not sure. It might be because I added legacy floppy to that. So, oh yeah, I needed more RAM in there. Fuck. Okay, well, let me just see if I can get this shit installed first. Just might have been spending that whole time looking for a floppy disk that wasn't there. Yep, that was it. Okay. Yeah, so this is fast now. I can just restart it super quick. And we're already back to another test. Just already back. Now, I wish the BIOS on my main computer was this fast. I'm going to do it a lot of times this time. I'm hoping it'll actually keep working. I mean, I'm just... Well, almost. There we go. That had to be been like 9 times. Oh my god, that was bad. Whew. Okay, so it doesn't know what the CD drive is. I'm going to open up the CD drive, and I'm going to hope that it can detect the drive, because I really don't know. Might get hung up here because I don't have a floppy drive installed. Man, it hates not having a floppy drive. I don't have enough room in this thing to put it in. Okay. Okay, I do have access to D, but I can't access it because we don't have anything plugged in yet. Placed inside yet. Can I... Will that work? There we are. So yeah, it does work on Windows 95 natively. We gotta browse to exactly the same location. It's a TNT2 Model 64. I know you guys probably couldn't see that well, but at least you got to see the whole thing. So we're gonna restart it. Disk drive does not like being run vertically like that. Did it without a hitch. Alright, and we got the graphics driver installed. We're on native resolution. Let me zoom in on this. Now I'm pretty sure the problem is RAM. I'm going to install Lego Racers, or try to run Lego Racers to see if it will. See if I can eject the drive without it falling out. Hey, it did it. Okay. Now there may not be enough RAM for this, so while I'm going to see if this will start up on its own, I'm going to go see if I can hunt down some RAM that's reasonably sized so that Windows 95 doesn't take a crap all over it. Probably won't anyway, because we know the protection fault is due to... Fuck, I have no idea. Hey! Whoa, I might not need to get up. Never got that far before. Okay. What the hell is this? Set message drain? Probably out of RAM. So, let's try to get our resolution back here. And let's try Rayman 2. We'll need the disk for it. Okay. Let's play it. Oh, it got stuck on this screen before on the other video card. Hey, and it's not stuck here now. Video card must have made some sort of difference. Okay, I started to fall asleep a little bit. It's stuck. Control-Delete doesn't work. So, probably ran out of RAM. So, let's just shut it down. And I'll actually get some more RAM. So I've got 128 megs here. Shouldn't be too offensive to the system. Gonna get rid of the 32 meg stick, just so we don't get too much in there. Ooh, the heatsink's hot. Fuck. Oh god. Hopefully I don't break the whole... Oh! Okay. If it can withstand that, that's pretty good. I was putting it under some pressure there. I don't know if parts of it are coming undone or what, but let's take a look at what we did. Yeah, well, it's a run scan disk, and sometimes it actually fixes something, so I say let it work. I don't want anything weird going on. Usually when I was a kid, I would always skip this, and I don't know if that actually added or contributed any sort of problem. I remember one day, one time, oh no I didn't, yeah that was the thing. There was this game called Life and Death. It's this DOS game, and it scared the crap out of me. I hate surgery body games for DOS. It's horrible, but something happened and that game added itself to the AutoEXE CBAT. I know this, you know, with my current knowledge. I didn't know this back then, but it had added itself to the AutoEXE CBAT. So every time the computer started up, it launched Life and Death, and it did not launch Windows. So that means that there's so many implications to what went wrong, but I don't know why it did that. I definitely didn't do that. I wouldn't have known how to do that. I would have had to modify a file I didn't know existed. My parents did not know how to fix it, so I think they had to wipe the whole computer because they had a problem with their auto-exe bad. I'm not sure if that's what they had to do. I think they just had to reinstall Windows, and they didn't have to wipe the computer because I don't remember having that being a huge deal. Because I remember I knew how to get into safe mode, right? And I used safe mode to back up their tax documents to floppy disk. I remember that before they wiped it. So yeah, they probably did wipe it out. Why didn't I get in more trouble for that? It's probably like 12 at the time, something like that. 10? Was that maybe 11? I don't know. Okay, after a couple tries, we're in. Now we got 128 megs. Let's just double check that in my computer. 128 megs. That should be more than enough to run Rayman 2. Everything should be perfect. Got a period correct video card with the right drivers. Got a good amount of RAM. Got Windows 95. Can we get past this screen? I don't know. Yes, we can. We needed more RAM. How about that? Not bad. So, I could have the audio set up with this, but advantages of having a 3-letter name. I could have that set up, but you wouldn't be able to hear it, and I was getting some weird 60 hertz line hum when I have too many things plugged into the camera, like using splitters or whatever. Hey, this isn't too bad. Graphics look good. See, the performance is like... seems pretty good. And everything seems to be represented pretty well there. Seems pretty smooth. If I turn out the light, it doesn't really get better. This is a very dark part of the game. You can adjust the luminosity so it looks better, but... you can't skip this. The lumière d'argent. No, I used to think that the audio in this game was French. The original origin country was France of this game. So I thought that the nonsensical blabbering that they always spoke in was French, but it doesn't make sense because there's only like 10 voice lines in the whole game. Wow, this runs good! This is Windows 95, man. This might be a better period correct machine than the Windows 98 machine. Oh my god. I think it helps that have a 1200 megahertz CPU, but man, this is nice. This is just like old times. Let me adjust the brightness here for you. Oh, oh my god, so many interruptions! Oh my god! You know, I played this game before I knew what Murphy's Law was. And every time I hear of the phrase Murphy's Law, I think of this scene with this fucker. The tutorial segments with Murphy. Oh my god. It's his law. I am the law! It's his law. His law. Rayman 2. Let me see if I can translate this. Oh, the yellow lums are very important. If you view... Oh, to view more, press F1. Oh, God. I can read it, doesn't mean that I know how to speak it. So, I'm stunned by how well this runs and how everything worked and set up right. Yeah, wow. This I believe is the same video card that was in the computer at my dad's house, which was, you know, could play all these games just fine. I can't play Lego Racers right now, but yeah, this is about the performance I remembered when I was a kid. It was about this. Now, the one thing to remember is c'est moi. C'est moi. C'est moi. Moi. Mwah! Stop. Good thing these cutscenes are tolerable, because they're unskippable. Okay, let's go to options, video, low, medium, high. I guess I could do high resolution. I don't know how much that affects the performance. Back in the day, I didn't really know anything about that. It's a little... definitely lost some frames. Now, it's probably 640 by 480, 800 by 600, and 1024 by 768. Those are probably the three resolutions. Even at high resolutions, it's not too bad. It's a little bit of lag there. Back to low. A little bit better. But I mean, I can't complain. This game's good. Alright, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up with an extremely long first part of this video. I'm really impressed that even though with all the weird shit that happened, I'm able to get to this point where this game is playable. I'm just shocked. I love this. This is great. So, thanks everybody for watching, and I guess I will see you guys next time. Oh yeah, just a quick update. I fixed the protection error thing. Starts up perfectly every single time. All I had to do was install an unofficial service pack that finally finished the development of Windows 95 in 2014. The link is in the description if you're interested. Also, installing that service pack enabled me to play Lego Racers! Thanks for watching, everybody.